Hey dearies, I found today for the first video of 2023 and pardon my very lazy outfit, but I couldn't be bothered. I found it today for a sewing project I couldn't wait to do, which is sewing a late Victorian, early Edwardian wardrobe. There will be multiple videos on this project and the first video will focus on the underwears. For this part I will use a pattern that I got from the Etsy shop, Patterns of Time. I felt like it was the right time starting this project when my mom got me this fabric for €4 on the French version of Craigslist, I guess you can say. And yeah, it's a vintage, I think it's a bed sheet, but I'm not sure. It has very beautiful embroideries here and it's a white, maybe a bit thick for underwears. But I already have summer underwears for my Victorian style, so I guess these will be winter underwears. I need to measure it. I don't know yet how long it is. But I feel like with this fabric and this pattern, we'll be able to make multiple garments. You're supposed to be able to do with this pattern a chemise, drawers and a corset cover. So now I'm just going to cut the pattern pieces and figure out how this pattern works, and I'll be able to start on this project. So let's go. Pieces cut out. I didn't have enough fabric for the drawers and some ruffle, so I had to go with another fabric, which is a thinner cotton fabric. So the drawers will be more see-through than the rest of the pieces, and some ruffle won't look exactly like the other ones, but that's the best I could do because I only had thin cotton in stock in terms of white fabric. And now let's see what's the next step is for this project. So yesterday I started one leg. I still have some stuff to do to show you exactly, but I just sew the leg together and attached the front and back facing, but the facing is not finished on the opening. I'm going to do the other leg, finish this one, do the other leg and show you what it looks like. But so far this is one leg. So this is what it looks like. It is not pretty, it's messy. Here I couldn't really figure out this part. So if I can, I will decorate it with lace or something to hide my mistakes. And also I have no idea why I have this much left compared to this that fits perfectly. So I don't really know. I'm just going to go for the ruffle step now because this was a mess and I'd rather not talk about it. These are the straight ruffles, so they are quite long. And I was thinking for the lace at the end of it, this beautiful blue, purple, indigo. It's not really indigo, but it's, yeah, a jean color to put it, because we need some lace at the bottom of it. At the very bottom, so that we see through this lace. I am going to try to do it by machine for it to be quicker, but I need to be very precise to really be at the edge of the ruffle. Guess who've made a mistake? I was a bit confused because I did the straight ruffles, and in my head the word straight didn't really resonate. This is not a read on me, it's just there is two options. You either do a straight leg ruffle or a shaped leg flounce. And I did both. I cut both patterns because I've cut all the patterns pieces I had. And you should always read the instruction before cutting the patterns. And that's what I tell myself every time I do something, but I end up never doing it. So I cut both pieces and I started to do, so my plan was to do shaped leg flounce because I wanted shaped legged drawers, and I actually cut the patterns for the shaped leg drawers because I cut this pattern and not this pattern. My brain didn't realize that you either do this or this. I did both. I cut both. So I did that first when I was supposed to do that, and I can't take my lace off of this, and I don't have time to do two different doors. So I will keep the flounce pieces I've cut for a later project with different drawers, but I will have to mix the shaped leg drawers piece with the straight ruffle pieces. So yeah, this project is starting great. I hope it won't be too weird to attach straight ruffles to my shaped leg. But when I saw straight, I was like, why am I doing straight ruffles if I have shaped leg? But you know, my brain being my brain, I didn't question it too much, and now I have a remix of what I'm supposed to do. Drawers slash bloomers. I'm gonna say bloomers because it's the other word for it, I believe, and it will be easier. These bloomers are so hard to do. I don't know why I'm struggling that much. So I just finished the lace and I didn't have enough lace. Like, this is missing. I mean, that's fine because it's gathered, so it won't be too obvious, I think. But that was the first issue. I mean, with the fact that I have the wrong ruffle for the wrong leg shape, but we already discussed that. I attached the waistband and I didn't really follow the measure. I kind of eyeballed it, which I don't recommend to do, but obviously I did. It looks good. The waistband looks nice. I attached a little cute button that had little hearts in it. And I struggled a lot. We won't do close-ups on the button opening because the buttonhole is horrendous. It's absolutely horrendous. The thread kept broken. Yeah, I did it too small. I did it on a too thick part of the skirt. No. Like, let's not talk about the buttonhole. I should have put bias here instead of the flounce. I think that's how they called it. No, it's called facing, but I should have put a bias. It will have been way more cleaner. For the next one I will do with a bias and not with a facing. Like, I didn't succeed it well. And it's going to be a pain in the ass to iron because it is very fragile, very soft fabric that wrinkles easily, and there is a lot, like, it's a complicated pattern to iron, so I'm going to have a blast with this one. To be fair, it's my first ever pair of drawers I'm ever sewing, so we'll accept it as not as good as I thought it was gonna be. But yeah, at last it's finished, and now let's move on to the chemise. It's been a while since I've done the bloomers, and now I'm ready to go on the chemise. I had other projects to do in between, but now I'm ready to go back on the Edwardian lingerie. And yeah, the next step is the chemise. I already started on the chemise, so I put the front and the back together, and now I need to put the yoke at the front and at the back to decorate the chemise. The front is goes deeper to the neckline than the back, but I have to gather them both and decorate them. For the front, the idea, I have multiple ideas. I have some embroidery remaining of the, can't see here on the video, but the bottom of the chemise has this beautiful like rose embroidery, and I wonder if I put this same one here or if I go for a beautiful blue lace that I have, and I think it will look nice. And because it will be sheer, it will be very delicate, you know, and around it, because I also need to decorate the yoke, maybe this lace, because then I can pass a blue ribbon or whatever color ribbon in. I really like this type of lace that has little holes that we could pass ribbon. So I am thinking about what to do, but first I'm going to just gather the front to fit me and then decorate. So I've put the lace and I've put this ribbon. I already sewed the one side of the ribbon. The thing is, I didn't really understood the instruction really well, and I didn't took the time to properly translate them in French to help me more. I kind of just freestyled it, as I always do, which is why I don't know if you're able to see, maybe I have to take the dress. Whoop. So the issue is that I didn't fold the fabric, so the fabric is doing this thing. I can't really put a name on it in English, but it's a bit of an issue, and I don't want the fabric to just like destroy itself when I'm wearing it. So I'm gonna wear something over this, like probably a white one, to kind of close and trap the fabric that I didn't fold between the blue ribbon and another probably white bias, so it will protect the fabric. And I am going to add the lace on top of the blue because it's a lot of blue right now and it's not necessarily what I want. I want a touch of blue, so I'm going to add the lace at the top, like on top of the ribbon, so it will be just like a blue ribbon hidden under the lace. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll find you to show you what's next. For the corset cover, I already had the corset cover front facing cut out, but I forgot that I wanted a cherry vibe to the corset cover. And I have this cherry napkin I got at a thrift shop. So it was more of a charity shop, but I got it for almost nothing, and I wanted to incorporate the cherry design on the corset cover. I have an over cherry stuff, but it won't work for this. So this over cherry fabric will be used for maybe a blouse, which is not on this episode. But for now I have the cherry napkin, and I also have some cherry colored lace that I will use. So I've cut my ruffles, and you can't see really here, but I need a lot. Like, there's a lot of ruffle, and I want to add lace at the end of the ruffle. This lace I want to use for something else, and I will need a lot of it. And I am a bit worried because this is what I have left if I use this ruffle, because I need like 4 of this length, which is a lot. So I don't really know. I also tried, because I want a cherry design, so red is what I'm looking for, but I don't have enough of this one, so I can't really use it for this ruffle. I am torn. This is actually a more cherry color anyway. I don't know. I'm probably gonna use it because I really want lace. You'll see in the next sequence if I decided or not. So here is the front of the corset cover with the facing, and like the front facing and the center facing I need to sew along the pins. I don't know why there is a little piece here and not here. Don't ask questions because I don't have the answers, but I hope the cherry won't be like, it's already a bit cropped here. I hope it won't be too cropped here. My cherry is just going to disappear because of the seams, but I had no other way to cut it. The napkin was like, the cherry was really at the corner of the napkin, so that was the only way I could get the cherry and the entire piece. But I'm going to sew this together and then we'll move on to the next step. So I stitch the center facing. Now I need to stitch the front and the back facing here that I just pressed. For the back I'm just going to sew, and I'm not going to add like lace or anything. It's the back. I'm not going to worry about this. For the front, however, since we are going to press and stitch, I already pressed, but since we are going to stitch the front facing, I did not want it just to be like a seam here. So I'm going to do the seam, and I just wanted to hide it maybe with this lace, like this, and to pass like a dark red ribbon in the holes to remind like the cherry theme. I also thought about another kind of ribbon, a velvet one, but it just like wasn't the right shade of red. I don't want 2 different shades of reds, even if these are not the exact same ones. I also thought of like a green one for like the cherry vibe, but green and red is a lot like Christmassy, and I did not want it to be too Christmassy, so red, dark red it is. have joined the front and back of the corset cover together, and I've done the armholes bias. I chose green bias because I didn't have white bias anymore. I don't have red one, and I wanted a little reminder of the leaves of the cherry, and I think it looks nice. It doesn't look too Christmassy, which is scary when you deal with red and green, but I think it's okay. Now all I need to do is the waistband and the button and buttonholes. These three pieces are done and I'm relatively happy with how they look. The fabric for the chemise and for the corset cover is a bit thick, and since this video took me a bit more time than I expected and it's now spring, it's probably a bit too thick for the season, but at least now I have my winter wardrobe ready for next autumn. My favorite piece has to be the cherry camisole, and now I want to create a cherry themed complete outfit to go with it, like a cherry blouse or skirt, but that will be in another episode of Sewing an Edwardian Wardrobe series. Until then, I hope you enjoyed that video, that it was useful to you, and if you like this Edwardian style, I have a few Edwardian inspired pieces on my Etsy shop. The link will be in the description.